Baby, 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 you sold me a dream. Hookup culture, you sold me a dream. Oh, yes, you did. Oh, you sold me a dream. Well, if you've been around the internet long enough, you've probably heard that hookup culture only benefits men predominantly, which to a certain extent, that is true. But the reality is, hookup culture really doesn't benefit anyone at the end of the day. So I'm just going to share my experiences and my POV. So as a young African child, I was very awkward. I was very reserved. So I would pretty much always keep to myself because I had a lot of anxiety, a lot of trauma that was just built up in my childhood. Anyway, fast forward into my teens, I'm like, man, I really haven't had that experience. I want to be cool. I want to feel accepted by my peers and my culture. And so that's where we hit the PUA era, and it was booming at the time in my teens. I started to, learn game and get myself out there and just talk to women and people in general, and that was going great, but I still wasn't getting as much results per se. And I started going out every day after school, and eventually I got better. I started knocking some boots, right? Just was going. My dream has finally come true, and I'm having all these experiences. And then the apps, just the floodgates of apps come, and then you get on the apps, and it's just like, wow, like this is like an endless amount of options right now, but it's all really in your head. So then you start having dates, running through women, and you don't recognize the person that you were when you first started this. Because now it's not really about cultivating a healthy relationship with other people. It's really, you're just using them as a form of a masturbation tool. It's just a hole at that point. There's no real intimacy per se. Then you start to have that empty feeling. Like you either ghost them or they ghost you. So it's this back and forth thing of people feeling hurt. Oh, I kind of did like her, but that was a thing for many, many years. And then your self-worth starts to really dwindle down. You start to see yourself as less than. You start to um, you start to feel depressed because you're like, is this all life slash relationships have to offer me? Just me putting my penis in a hole? I mean, at that point, just day in and day out, you start to feel like a slave, honestly. And it was a it was a dark time. It was a dark time because I just went so many years and just trying to get that validation as well from women that I didn't get when I was younger as well, which certain things obviously played a role. I can honestly tell you that from my era, I think it's gotten worse. It's more rampant, and women just, I know that the feminist movement tells women that they can go out and have frivolous sex and just wild out and sow their oats too, but the honest truth is it's just, as much as it affects men, it definitely also affects women a lot more. Women don't really get the full benefits of even being in the hookup culture as well, because 95% of the time they aren't even having a orgasm from hookup culture, because guess what, the guy doesn't give a flying you know what about her. It's just punch in, punch out, ghost. Just keep it strictly casual, no feelings. But the thing is, a lot of women get attached, even if they say they're just looking for something casual, which they might in their own heads, but the biology of their nature says otherwise. And that's the unfortunate truth about that aspect as well. Women need intimacy from their partner, and a lot of the one night stands or the hookup culture just isn't going to give them that fulfillment that they really want deep down. Although in the surface they could be like, I'm empowered, I'm bossed up, like all that stuff. It's not gonna fulfill you or them. And it's this sad cycle of just being in self-denial over and over and over, day in and day out. And you know what they say, doing the same thing over and over again is insanity. And hookup culture promotes insanity. Because in the hopes of people hooking up, especially women, they're like, oh, is he going to ask for a relationship? But the honest truth is 9 times out of 10, it really doesn't. Just how the whole dynamics have changed, and this movement and the sexual liberation movement has really destroyed a lot of people's character. All it really does is just sell people a dream, sell men and women a dream of this sex and the city lifestyle. And the truth is, one day you're going to be 40. You're going to come home alone with your 3 cats and pet food, being like, man, I really wish I made more better choices and not be reckless with my body and the people that I got myself involved with. And I'm here to tell you that it's not too late, and it leaves you emptier than you came. So you came in there thinking that you were going to be fulfilled and happy. While in the moment it feels great and fantastic, and you're like, this is so awesome, this is so great. And then bam, then you're like, damn, what am I doing with my life? This can't be all life is about. There's a lot to talk about. I mean, the rise of OnlyFans culture and how that's also further putting men in that lonely way, and the fact that women are definitely a lot more picky, because rightfully so. However, only 14% of women are swiping right on these dating apps, while 46% of men are swiping. That's a huge off scale right there, because now the average man is not being desired. All the women, average or not, are still getting all these matches and dates and hookups, which in turns is destroying how they perceive men. And now they're calling men trash because they are only going for the guys who are the 10 to 20% of men on these apps, because most people are using apps to find relationships or hookups. Men are told if they go in front of a woman seen as creepy, or they might get me too'd, just things like that. Women might put a charge on them, which in turns, a lot of men are turning from approaching women in person. Most of them are turning from that and just going on apps, because apps are perceivably more safer than in real life and having to talk to women. But when you are coming to a dating app, I mean, everything, all your charisma, all that is kind of buried in just really how you look and a tiny speck of your personality, which doesn't do, honestly, a lot of people justice. But that's where we are heading toward. Only 1 in 3 men are having sex. So 2 out of 1 men are not having sex right now. So yeah. So hookup culture is pretty much destroying everybody for different reasons, and I might go into detail on another future video about this. But there is so much damage, so much irreparable damage that it's doing to our mental health, our physical health. Obviously, the more that you have sex, you are risking yourself getting diseases, and your emotions are getting tied up, and it's just leaving people empty, men and women. It took a while to be honest with myself. Yeah, and a lot of people are still in denial, so I'm just making this video to just have y'all aware. Random, but in that process, like, I found God, and it was a amazing process just to see, just to be healed from everything. And and like in that process though, found out that everything is meaningless, just like Solomon said. Yes, that is a Bible reference. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. All right, y'all. Peace out. Stay blessed.